How did Jaxon Dart and the New York Giants defeat the Chargers and the Eagles but get shellacked by the New Orleans Saints? What happens when the Giants are in 12 personnel, which is what they love to run? What is little Jordan Humphries going to do? What is the Denver Broncos' best bet of stopping Cam Skattebo and Jaxon Dart? In this video, it's the only place on the internet where you're going to find a civilized conversation between a Giants creator and a Broncos creator. In this video, we go behind enemy lines and talk to Justin from Talkin' Giants. We were talking 36,000 raucous Giants subscribers on that channel. So much to break down. Without further ado, let's dive in. Well, look who we have in the Broncos den. It is Justin. Justin, how you living and where are you from?
Hey man, I am from New Jersey, getting ready for a pretty big game. I know that point spread is 7 points, but Giants are our New York Football Giants are coming off of a big primetime national television win where that's where you, when everybody's watching, that's where you make your statements, right? That's where you set the narrative of what your team is going to be. It's going to be a big week for us against our Broncos to figure out what kind of football team are we going to have in the Giants. So I'm looking forward to talking about it, and thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man. And I actually have watched every Jaxon Dart game just out of pure interest and knowing that we had him. Is it like Linsanity there right now? Like, has the vibe just completely shifted?
Yeah. It really has. I mean, I would say him and Skattebo together as this 1-2 punch has been so fun, and it's who they kind of are as people, and it matches like their personalities off the field match their personalities on the field. Like they're both nuts. Like Jaxon Dart, I go into every game. It doesn't matter against who, and it certainly doesn't help that the Denver Broncos have a 13% sack rate and a 46% pressure rate. Like it certainly doesn't help that I'm worried that Jaxon Dart may not even make it out of the game healthy, because that's how he plays. He plays like a nut. And even Cam Skattebo too. Like the dude eats crayons, and all the memes that are coming out of him, like the Brian Dable visits him in a home 10 years from now. It's like, ugh! That's how he plays. That's how he plays. Every single one has been funny. So it's been really fun to see not only Giants fans grab a hold of this, but the rest of the country. You win one game in primetime, and like I said, that changes the narrative of kind of who you are as a football team. Because, man, certainly before last Thursday, Giants are a little bit of a national laughingstock, and now it's going to come down to this Sunday of if they can continue that and if they can have another statement game.
Yeah, well, and it's not just the one. To me, it was the Chargers game first that I was like, oh, I'll turn. Sorry, babe, I'm just going to watch the first half of this because I thought you're talking an undefeated Chargers team. And I don't think they had.
Oh, you're welcome, by the way. You're welcome.
Yeah. Absolutely, dude. Thank you for that. But like that was absolutely wild. So yeah, do you think it's sustainable, I guess, on offense?
I think so. And I hope so. And in two different reasons. Number one, Jaxon Dart has been really good on third down. Some of his more advanced stuff, he's been top 10 in third down. He's like top 5, top 3 in success rate over the last 3 weeks. And they've also gotten off to really fast starts. They've been
touchdown drive every single drive of Jaxon Dart. First drive. That's first time since 2009.
And even in the first half, they have 6 first-half touchdowns over the last 3 weeks, which is leading the NFL. They have 8 scoring drives in the first half, which is tied for first. And Jaxon Dart, in like success rate, he's top 3, top 5 again in the first half. So if they get off to a fast start, which is easier said than done against such a really good defense in the Broncos, but their opening script and Mike Kafka and Brian Dable's opening script for Jaxon Dart, it's worked. They're hitting buttons that are just working right now. They're churning out some big plays in those opening drives and in the first half too. And then the idea is in football, when you have a lead and you get off to a fast start, then that's where you can control the game. And that's where you can really pound Cam Skattebo, and you're talking about out physicaling a defense. And when it's, you can play 4-minute offense in the fourth quarter, and we're up by 1 score. We got to hold the ball here, and we got to get 2 first downs to really seal this game. That's kind of how the Giants have been able to win these games against the Chargers, and especially against the Eagles on Thursday night, and coupling that with very well-timed turnovers on the defensive side too.
Yeah. Well, and the crazy thing too is like that he's done it. Jaxon has done it without Malik Neighbors for the bulk of it because he got hurt really early on in that Chargers game. So what are the wideout weapons? Like I saw little Jordan Humphries out there who we didn't even make our practice squad. And we thought like, oh, is he going to convert to a tight end? So who are his like offensive weapons outside of Skattebo who you are high on?
Yeah, I mean Darius Slayton was a DNP on Wednesday. Excuse me, I don't even know what my days are on Wednesday. So
And I
we'll
just
see what
looked.
his.
He didn't practice either today.
Yeah, he did not
Yeah.
practice on Wednesday, so we'll see what his status is throughout the rest of the week. Thursday, Friday, even if he's limited, I'd say that they would really try and roll him out there because the Giants' wide receiver depth is not great right now. Like you have little Jordan Humphrey, like you said, as it's kind of like your number one outside wide receiver right now. You have Jalen Hyatt, who the Giants kind of just refuse to target / put on the field outside of just necessity. And I will say, like Jalen Hyatt, while he can catch a deep ball, I mean, you can't. I think if the Broncos are sleeping, and if you're playing cover one, and Jalen Hyatt, if he's maybe playing somebody besides Patrick Surtain, I think he can beat a guy deep. I wouldn't even solely trust it, but the speed is there for him. And a goal ball on the sideline, that could be a source of explosive plays for the Giants. But even still, like he hasn't really done that throughout his career all that much. The Giants haven't really wanted to play him. And then you have Wan'Dale Robinson in the slot, and that's it. That's it. I think you're going to see a lot of 12 personnel. That's what the Giants have leaned on. They're going to do 12 personnel out of the shotgun because that's where Jaxon Dart has kind of lived all throughout his college career. He also had a fumble against the Saints under center. So the Giants have really tried to stay away from under center. They'll do it every once in a while, but I kind of think that they do telegraph. If they're under center, they're probably going to run the ball, and it's probably a running situation. But they're going to do a lot of stuff out of the shotgun, even 12 personnel, one of those heavier formations. You're going to see a lot of Daniel Bellinger, a lot of Theo Johnson, and then you'll have Wan'Dale out there along with Lil Jordan Humphrey. And whenever they go 11, those three that I already mentioned at receiver, those are going to be the three receivers that are out there.
Well, I do feel confident about the Broncos stopping the run. Just we did it to Breece Hall just last game, and for sure we did it, the week before even. I feel confident about that, but seeing Jaxon Dart as a runner reminded me so much of Josh Allen. Like, do you guys, what's your ceiling comp for Jaxon Dart after watching him in 3 games?
I was interviewed by another Giants show last night. And one of the things that he said to me, and it's rare that I get like, oh, that's a really good point by another Giants, because we all talk about the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
But one of the nice things about Jaxon Dart in his rookie year, we're not doing the whole, we're comparing him to Daniel Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And Daniel Jones's rookie year, for example, we were doing the whole comparing him to Eli Manning because they're both very ho-hum personality-wise, and it also didn't help that Daniel Jones took over for Eli. So really, I've enjoyed watching Jaxon Dart, like in the back of my brain, knowing like I'm watching Jaxon Dart. I'm just watching a new quarterback. I'm sure in the building, and I'm sure in Brian Dable's mind, he's hoping that he has Josh Allen. But let's face it, like I think Josh Allen is much more of a physical beast than what Jaxon Dart is. Like he's just a bigger dude. And I also think Josh Allen's arm is like God-given versus Jaxon Dart's, I think, is good to solid. I don't think it's an elite arm talent. Doesn't mean that they don't have similar play styles. They certainly do. But I want Jaxon Dart in his rookie year to be Jaxon Dart. And the whole thing about the run game is I do want to expand upon that a little bit. That is one of the things that I am worried about. But if the Giants can lean into 12 personnel, if they can mix their ability to throw out of 10 personnel, they have 8 pass plays of 10+ yards over the last 3 weeks throwing out of 12 personnel, which I think that could be kind of a weapon in the NFL, where if you can throw out of those condensed formation, out of those heavy formations, it kind of keeps the defense on their toes. So where the source of their rushing offense is going to come, though, the Giants, it's going to be out of 12 or even out of 11, but it's going to be Cam Skattebo yards after contact. They are not a very good yards before contact team. The Broncos are a very good defense when it comes to yards before contact themselves. So the source is going to come from Cam Skattebo churning out 4 5-yard gains from yards after contact, maybe even being targeted at 1 yard, 2 yards, and then how are you going to fall forward? And I think that's going to be even tough for the Broncos to bring a guy like Cam Skattebo down because he is a very difficult guy to bring down. And you have the threat of Jaxon Dart's legs as well as a natural runner and then also as a scrambler.
So when I named my dog Bailey after one of my favorite Denver Broncos of all time, Champ Bailey, I knew I had huge shoes to fill when I was this dog parent. And I've seen firsthand the power of doing things the right way to get elite performance. So I'm not going to skip steps when it comes to my dog's nutrition. I'm not going to have fillers and additives and stuff that I wouldn't actually eat myself. And that's why I switched to Maeve for Bailey's food. She absolutely loves eating it, and it's human grade raw food that I can actually identify when I look at it. It's real, lean, protein, organ meat, fresh produce, and I don't have to prep it, and it's not messy. Flash frozen nutrients that's easy to grab right out of my freezer, put in her bowl, and we are good to go. And I know she has the best ingredients. Since switching to Maeve, Bailey has had more energy, her coat is shinier, and honestly, she's never more excited for mealtime than when she hears me go out into the garage to grab that bag out of the freezer. She's chasing after a legend's legacy, so she deserves to eat like a legend. Check out Maeve in the link below and let me know how it goes, and go Broncos and go Bailey. Yeah. How did you feel about all the popping the top, going shirtless on the set after? Because like the confidence is awesome, but then it's almost like they also haven't done anything yet. And
Right.
It gave me a little bit of Drew Lock vibes. Like, I mean, he was rapping on the sidelines in games, and I've never been as hyped as a Broncos fan. And then that plane crashed real quick. So is there any worry that the confidence or are you guys cool with it in Giants Nation?
Well, we're going to find out how cool we are with everything this Sunday, because that's one of the, I was telling you before the show, but expectations when you root for an unstable, bad football team like the Giants are, and they have been historically the last however many years, having expectations is one of the most dangerous things as a fan, because now I'm so pumped up for this game. You do what you do. You did what you did against Philly on Thursday night. You got a little 10-day break. I'm even peeking at that game on Sunday morning in London. I know it's a different circumstance, different stadium. The Broncos are traveling. Everybody's traveling. But I'm even peeking at that game being like, ooh, well, their offense doesn't look good. I'm peeking at it. But you got to go out there and you got to at least compete. The Giants cannot have, if the narrative is going to change and if all of our opinions on Joe Shane, Brian Daboll, and the future of this team is going to change, you at least have to go out there against Denver and compete. That 7-point spread, like, let's cover it. Let's compete. Let's have a game into the fourth quarter. You cannot repeat what you did against the Saints. Like, you have a statement win against the Chargers, and then you turn the ball over 5 times. That is my expectation for this game, is you cannot have that type of performance again. Going in there and compete.
Yeah. Any word from the league on? I just seen some, and I was probably wish casting because we've wanted that Russell Wilson return to Denver since he left, man. So I've been hoping like the league is going to punish Daboll for sticking his head in the tent. Any talk of suspension or anything from the league that Brian Daboll's pulling him out of the tent and not letting Russell even have a full drive?
I think the expectation is Daboll's going to be fined heavily. I mean, even Cam Skattebo could be fined too, because Cam Skattebo even poked his head in there, and the rule is nobody should go in there. Like, nobody.
Well, Cam Skattebo is a neurologist. Like, you can just tell he's smart. Very,
He was telling Dart how to pass the test, even though he shouldn't. So Cam Skattebo is definitely, like, I can envision he's going to get fined, and I think Daboll, like, I think it could even go up to 6 figures. Like, that's how seriously I think the league is going to take this. And if it wasn't, this is kind of like my little conspiracy theory too. If John Mara wasn't so like friendly and like, in kind of lockstep with the league and what they do, and such a NFL as an institution friendly owner, like, maybe even draft picks would have been on the table. I don't see draft picks, loss of draft picks on the table. I do see the team being fined, Daboll being fined, and maybe even Cam Skattebo and whoever else poked their head in that tent that really wasn't supposed to, because it was a clown car going in and out of that tent there for a couple
funny
minutes.
To watch though, man. So funny. Okay, flip to the other side of the ball quick for us. Giants games don't get shown in our market like ever. So we basically, unless you have Sunday ticket, only saw that Thursday night. That front is nasty, dude. Who are you most excited about, and who do you think has the best mismatch on your defensive line against our offense?
Yeah, I mean, it starts with the 3 edges. Brian Burns is really having, I think, a defensive player of the year type of season where, if that Giants record is flipped, I mean, his odds to win, I think, would be certainly better. They're putting everybody everywhere. Like, they'll put even Brian Burns at this off-ball linebacker, and he'll drop back into coverage, and he'll be stunting and twisting with Kayvon and Abdul Carter. Same thing with Kayvon. They've started to experiment putting Kayvon's hand in the dirt against guards, and he had like this really nice spin move against the Saints. I'm like, oh, I didn't know Kayvon had that in his bag. Like contract year, Kayvon getting closer to that. They picked up his 5th-year option, but Kayvon knows, like, they drafted Abdul Carter. They have Brian Burns. My future here is uncertain, but I also want to be paid. It's either going to be here or somewhere else. So Kayvon Thibodeau's playing out of his mind. And Abdul Carter is just a freak. Like, he's going to move different. He's going to test every single offensive lineman everywhere that he's lined up. And he I think at least at one point before the Eagles game, he was leading the league in quick pressures and pressures like under 3 seconds with like 15, probably notched a couple more after that Eagle game. But it starts with those 3. And then, of course, you have Dexter Lawrence as well, who honestly, that's a player right now that I kind of want to see a little bit more of. We haven't seen the same dominant take over the game, like sack leader at one point last year before he got hurt. He was leading the league in sacks with Will McDonald at one point. Haven't seen that type of player in Dexter Lawrence, but he's also being double teamed. He's doing his job, still making plays here and there, and it's these edge rushers that are really getting these optimal matchups being put everywhere, and you really got to keep an eye out for those guys. The thing that concerns me a little, Bo Nix's sack rate is pretty low. So how effective are those edge rushers going to be? And really my main attention always goes in, week out to this Giants secondary of how effective can they be. And I still have questions about Shane Bowen, even though Giants defense coordinator, I still have questions about him despite his good game plan against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah. And sounds like Broncos offensive line looked pretty horrendous against the Jets, but we had former Giant Matt Pert. I don't know if you remember him, but he got flexed into that left guard position and tore his MCL on the 3rd play and then played the rest of that game with a torn MCL. So we're expecting a better option at left guard, but it's truly option 3C at this point. So that's something to keep an eye on. But yeah, what is your opinion on Bo Nix after seeing some of him?
I like Bo Nix. I haven't been able to fully like lock into what he's doing this year, but let me even throw it at you here. Is it simply the league is adjusting to what he did from year one? Because the touchdown rate was high. He's one of the league's best QB runners last year. Like a lot of explosive plays. The arm talent like stood out more than I think I ever thought. So I really think that all that stuff is there, and the infrastructure with this Denver offense is there. Is it simply year 2 and teams are kind of catching up to what Bo Nix is doing?
Yeah, I think it's like last week for sure was just no clean pocket whatsoever. Like Bo Nix was 10 for 11 in the first quarter, and then we just had no rhythm the rest of the time. I think Bo Nix is a late surger, and I think talks of a sophomore slump are overhyped. Like I still think, he didn't throw his first touchdown pass last year till week 4. And then by the end of the season had the 6th most in the whole NFL. And Sean Payton's offense is like, there's a reason he's the winningest coach in the month of October. They take some time to get rolling. They're more system based and take a lot of install. So I have a lot of hopes that the Broncos offense, we have a lot more to look forward to.
Yeah. And I think especially against this Giants defense too, where Shane Bowen, again, outside of Philly, so that's why it's a big talking point here of what kind of defensive game plan are we going to have going into Denver after Philadelphia. It capitalized off of Jalen Hurts' weaknesses. Jalen Hurts' weaknesses is you got to muddy up the line pre-snap, which the Giants did, and you got to mix zone and man, but Jalen Hurts especially struggles with zone. So the Shane Bowen was able to do that. But kind of before that, it was let's just play our outside corners, give our outside corners a lot of cushion, and it allows offenses to run these hitch routes, these out routes towards the sideline. We're going to give a lot of space. We're going to play our slot corner and press. And if you target our slot corner down the field, odds are he's going to get flagged. These Giants corners get flagged a ton. Like Cortland Sutton, even if he doesn't have a 20-plus yard play, I will count like a DPI that goes for 25, 30 yards as like kind of like a quote-unquote explosive play. That very well may happen against like Paulson Adebo this Sunday. So I'm with you. I still trust in, like, I don't think like the start of this Broncos offense. It's totally indicative of how they're going to finish. And also, there may be an opportunity against this Giants defense and the secondary, depending on the type of game plan that Shane Bowen rolls out. There could be some opportunities for a sustainable, successful offense that gets chunk play, maybe even 10 to 19 yards, even if the 20-plus yard plays aren't there. There may be an opportunity for the Broncos to do that.
Let's go, man. All right, give me your score prediction.
Score prediction. Ooh. I think if the Giants are going to win, it kind of feels like it's going to be low scoring. And, man, I'm believing. I have expectations. If you were to ask me this 2 weeks ago, I would say Broncos 30, Giants 13. But that was 2 weeks ago, and this is now. So now give me Giants 20, Broncos 19.
Ooh, man, that would crush me. Give me Broncos 31. Give me the Giants are going to score a touchdown on us, but give me like 31-19 Broncos.
I could see it. I could see both things happening because that's I don't know what type of Giants team I am going to get, and it's time to honestly, like, more than Thursday night, I view this game as a fan. I view this game as this is where you can turn around the narratives of everybody in that building. This is where you could turn things around for Dable, for Joe Shane, and this is where, like, you can really start to form yourself up as a football team. So we'll see.
Love it, man. Well, we'll let you run on this. I watch a ton of your stuff. 36,000 subs, biggest Giants creator, create amazing stuff. Got the best accent. Where can viewers go plug in or talk crap after the Broncos decimate the Giants?
Yes, please. I will be very angry and I will be sad. I may even be sad. I don't know what I will be. But if the Broncos win, if our Broncs win, you can find me on Talking Giants. I think we'll be live streaming. Game's at 4 o'clock Eastern, so we'll be live streaming after that game, maybe at around like 9 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock, depending on how long the game goes. We'll go live right after the game, and we'll talk about it with Sean Morash over at WFAN, one of the biggest radio stations, sports radio stations on the globe, and especially on the East Coast. You can also find me, if you like me, I have an NFL general football channel that I do as well called JM Football, John Boy Media Football. You can find me on socials at Justin Pennick everywhere. And on that JM Football channel, we have a lot of fun with doing like football trivia 3 times a week, long form videos, and I also do a lot of short form content as well. So thank you for having me on, man. It was a lot of fun.
Man, plug it all. Go click all those links in the description. Broncos Country. We got a ton to Bo-LIEVE in.